Hello everyone, we've got to look at some new Dune images from Empire. The world exclusive in Empire has two special covers and an exclusive subscriber cover, which we'll take a look at. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so that you can be first to be notified of new videos. Now that that is out the way, let's begin. So the first cover is of House Atreides, showing Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides, Oscar Isaac as the Duke Leto, Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck, and Rebecca Ferguson as the Lady Jessica. Now I'd like to point out some things that you may not have noticed in the cover. We see the same ships that we see from the first released image on Caladan. We get to see Gurney Halleck's Inkvine scar from the book. The scar isn't as prominent as some people may have expected, but it's more subtle and it's still visible on his face. There's also what seems like a much larger ship behind him, and it looks like a highliner. We get the first look at a crysknife, and it looks very much like a sandworm's tooth. And we get to see Rebecca Ferguson as the Lady Jessica, and she looks absolutely stunning in this patterned black veiled dress, wearing a very interesting ring. It could be a sandworm, it could be a hawk, it could be another animal, I'm not too sure. But I think it could actually allude to a spoiler, and there's a very slight tease of an ornithopter in flight in the background, but we'll get to that later. The setting of this photo seems to be on Caladan. There are clouds in the sky. Cover 2 is called The Fremen. We get to see Javier Bardem as Stilgar, Zendaya as Cheney, Sharon Duncan Brewster as Dr. Kynes, and Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho. One of the interesting things about this photo is that Jason Momoa, who appeared to be clean shaven in other promo pics and when we first saw him go to Jordan, has a little bit of a beard in this photo. So it seems that there's going to be a bearded and a beardless look. This photo is more rocky, so it seems to be Arrakis. And behind Sharon Duncan Brewster is the moon, one of the moons of Arrakis. And in the moon, it seems to be depicting Muad'Dib, the desert mouse, which is a really nice, subtle touch. And behind Stilgar, we get to see ornithopters in flight. Very elongated wings spread out. It seems like a set of 4 wings in flight, and I believe that these are perhaps one of several ornithopter types that will be featured in Dune. You can see the hilt of the knife that Cheney wears at her side, and it seems a little different to a crysknife. It definitely looks different to Paul's crysknife. Again, we see Cheney veiled. This is the first time we get to see Jason Momoa in a still suit, the first official image released of it, which is fantastic. And living up to his swordmaster name, he's carrying a sword with him. So in this photo we get a sense of the eyes of the Abed, which are the blue eyes of the Fremen. So it seems that they're going for a more subtle blue tint rather than a very deep dark black, blue within blue colour. I think that's the safest choice because to see an actor's performance you really need to see the eyes, you need to see the iris, you need to see what's happening within the eyes. And having them all completely blacked out, very deep dark blues, would be difficult to understand what is going on behind those eyes. And I think eyes are very important for Denis Villeneuve. He's used this eye theme throughout his work, especially in Blade Runner 2049. It's very interesting to note that Stilgar and Paul are the main characters at the front of the cover. And to be honest with you, the other 2 biggest actors listed really in the cast, Javier Bardem being an Oscar winner and Timothée Chalamet being a star who is very popular these days and rising. But it also gives you an interesting idea as to the themes of Dune and what they want to do with the storyline. Perhaps Paul Muad'Dib and Stilgar are going to have the most strong presence in Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Perhaps their characters will shine the most through the story. It also seems that the 2 covers are supposed to be one large spread that can be joined together to form one picture. Now coming to the third and final cover, the exclusive subscriber cover, which is probably the most striking of them all. We get to see our first look at the sandworm. They do play with illusions, making the sandworm look like an eye. Again, that eye theme that is very important to Denis Villeneuve and important to the Dune story, symbolically. If you look very closely, you can see that this is not an eye. These are sandworm teeth. and it's reminiscent of the paintings by John Schoenherr, these huge great sandworm with massive spikes that are the teeth of the sandworm, which is really mind-blowing. It's almost like they're really going back to the original ideas that Frank Herbert saw and admired, and the original artwork that came out of the love of Dune for the original books, and things that have stayed with the Herbert estate and things that have been approved by them. And it seems like this is what they are going for. So it's almost like this is going to be a movie that both pleases the Herbert estate and Denis Villeneuve, and something that they both will agree on. We get to see Timothée Chalamet as Paul Atreides, finally covered with wearing a mask and a hood to protect himself. And this cover was by Jane Yun and Enrique Torres. We've also got to see the emblem of the Harkonnen. Originally, this was seen on Dune Crew t-shirts. It's interesting how they market House Harkonnen as the House of Fury. Originally, we thought that this was the guild logo, so it leaves a mystery for the third symbol, which must be either House Carino or the guild. So that's all we have at the moment. So what do you guys think of the new images released? Let me know in the comment section below. It's a very exciting time to be a Dune fan. This is when Warner Brothers is really stepping up their ad campaign. So when there's more content, we'll take a look at it together. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and click the bell so that you can be first to be notified of new videos. If you like this channel, you can support me on Patreon, where you'll get exclusive content and access to new material ahead of time. Thank you to my Patreons for your continued support. It means a lot. With your help, I can make more videos. Thank you, and until next time, see you soon.